Hey, what's up, everybody? So I tweeted out last night $3.50 Theta. Can we hit it tomorrow, which is now today? Well, let's take a look at the price and see what is going on here. But before I do that, when we look at this chart, right, we have your impulse, and then we're correcting to the downside, right? And then we break out with an impulse, and then we flag out, right? So you would expect it to eventually get back up here. Now, it might take a couple days, it might even take, the rest of the week, but I think it's coming very soon. So will it happen today? I don't know. I mean, that's timing is always one thing that is just very hard to know. But let's look at the chart, and you could see we actually did break above that flag, right? So let me just put it, I'll just use this trend line here, right? So we broke above the flag, and then we sort of flagged out in here a little bit, right? And then we broke above that, but if you notice, the break was a three-way move. So now that we can see, because you just don't know, anytime you have a move up, right, and then you flag out, it's really hard to know before you see the wave structure if this is going to break out or if it's going to come up into a retracement and then pull back for a C wave. So A, B, C if it's a flat, and then break out, right? So it's either this or this. How do you know which one's it going to be? You have to look at the B wave. You have to look at the wave, the retracement wave. So yesterday, you look at the chart here, right? And we're flagging out, but we don't have the B wave. We don't have or the third wave, right? So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We don't have the wave structure. So it's kind of like you're shooting in the dark. You have to wait for the retracement. All right, so now we got the retrace, and this is a good lesson here because, flats are the ultimate way the market makers take your money is because of the flat. So if you master the flat, you can master the charts. But they're even for a veteran, sometimes they're sneaky, and they're all over the place. You know what I mean? So let's take a look and let's zoom in here. And let's see if we can read the wave structure here. So when you look at this wave structure, it looks like a choppy, ugly mess. It's like, what the hell is it doing? It's kind of challenging to read. Nobody on YouTube really likes to touch it because there's such a risk for being wrong. But it's not about being wrong or right. It's about ruling out what it's not and narrowing it down what it probably is. It's all about probabilities. It's not about right or wrong. It's about what's more probable. What are the options, right? When you go do something big in your life, you have to have options, right? So it's the same thing. So our options are either when you break out and then you pull back, do you continue? Or when you pull back, do you retrace correctively and then pull back and then go? So it's either here or here. So where's the pivot? The pivot is right there. So that's where everybody gets screwed most of the time. Because B waves are a B wave and an X wave are basically traps. You know what I mean? So if we look at what's happening now, we're actually pumping up. We're back above $3. Look how fast that is moving. So, well, why is it doing that? Well, if we look, what do we see? This pumped to the upside and it flagged out. We got that. It broke out. So that's like, okay, let's go long. We broke out. We're flagging. You want to wait for the pullback, though. You know what I mean? You want to wait for the pullback. So let's say we break out. Okay, I'm going to go, and then we pull back, and then you buy. And then it goes up, and then it slams all the way back down. You see what I mean? So, but that's why you don't know. That's why you DCA a little bit here and a little bit there, right? You're buying the low, right? And then let it ride. And you can see, obviously, we came all the way back down here, do a little bit more. Most people wouldn't do that because they would be scared. They would be like, okay, I'm out. I got to get out of this thing. But if you look and you zoom out, what do you see? I'll just use this one here. You see a W, X, and a Y. Or actually, it's probably an ABC. But either way, so the WXY might not be finished. For example, we might have something like that, right? You get 3 down, 3 up, and then 3 back down. Or if it's an ABC, then this looks like it should be 5. It should be 5 waves in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should be, I believe it's finished. I think it's finished. When these C waves, so an A wave comes down either correctively or impulsively. A B wave always goes up correctively. And a C wave, a lot of the times, comes down impulsively. C waves are the fastest, most aggressive waves. Okay? So, just a little bit of knowledge there for everybody. So now we have the knowledge, right? By the way, if you're not following me on X, that's my handle right there if you want to follow me on X. And I just tweeted this out. There is no need for a suit. Sweatpants for me. So, I love this. First you learn, then you remove the L. Right? So, now that we've kind of figured this out, I mean, essentially there's 2 ideas on the table here. The first idea is that we have 3 down, right? And this is a flat, A, B, C, or WXY. And now we're getting 3 back down, and then we're going to go. So that's idea number 1. Idea number 2, we have our 3-wave move, right? And it actually was more like, so this flat here, or this is the issue, is this here, right? So since we went up in 3 and then we came down in 3, and that's 3, so you could say WXY or even ABC. And then you impulse to the upside, so there's your 1, right? So you have a W, X, and a Y, right? There's your impulse. There's your 3-wave pullback. This is your wave 1, and then A, B, C. There's your wave 2, right? And now we're about to pump to $3.50. All right, so there you go. That's the other idea. So 2 ideas. Idea number 1, and this is idea number 2. So which one's it going to be? Well, you just got to wait and you got to follow the smaller time frames for example, what I'm going to be looking for here, right? Obviously, we see a flat. This is an automatic, rally. It come back up to retest the resistance level. So the best thing to do is get away from the scene of the crime, right? Meaning this, let's go down to even a smaller time frame here. So you had to move, this was your C wave, and then you came all the way back up, right? So the best thing to do is to kind of flag out a little bit and get away. You want distance in between this impulse and the correction. So that way when you move up, if you move up, you have more distance away from the correction. So it's not, so close together, if you know what I mean. So what I'm going to be looking for is simply you take a retracement from the C wave, put it down, and we're sort of right in the golden pocket between the 50 and the 618, right? This is a good swap. This is a sweet spot. So now we just have to wait and we have to see how it reacts in here. And then if we can flag out a little bit and we can start pumping and we can get out of here, then great. But if we come back down and then we get rejected and we start coming down, then it's probably 1, 2, 3, and then go. So either way, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's small time frame, so but the target would be 330 to 350 and then even higher than that. So there you go. That's theta. Now let's look at the daily. And is there anything on the sequential? So we do have a 9. It's not perfected, really. I mean, the 6 was actually higher than the 7 and the 8 pulled back. The 2-day chart, you're on a 6. And the 3-day chart, you just had a 9 yesterday. Or no, 3 days ago. So that could be why we're pausing here. Notice what happened. This is a perfected 9, by the way. This is a perfect 9. You came down here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boom. And the 9 was actually a sort of that climax, right? So now you could see that 9 printed that red dot. And so this candle is struggling to get above that red dot, which makes sense, right? So what do you need? Well, you typically, after you get the 9, you want a 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1 to 4 candle correction before going higher. So it could be anywhere between 1 candle up to really like 5 candles, right? I say 1 to 4, but it could be 1 to 5. And it makes sense, right? The last time, guys, we had a 9 on the 3-day was all the way back in March of this year, right? Seems like it's been longer than that. March of this year, right? And you can see it came up, it printed those red dots, and then the 1 came up, it couldn't do it, and then the 2 did it a little bit, but then it basically closed right around it, and then look at all these red dots afterwards. So that 9 took a little while to play out, but that was a reversal 9, right? So a 9 can either pull back the price or it can reverse the price. So in this instance, we had 3 waves. In this instance, we also have 3 waves. So this is the point where we need, this is a dangerous spot, really, it is, because this could easily come all the way back and sort of retest these lower areas and then go into some kind of reaccumulation and then break out at a later day. So that's what we don't know. Some of the coins like HBAR, ADA, those coins already escaped. XRP, they escaped. Filecoin, Theta, right? Matic, coins like that have not escaped. Like, for example, Flow has not escaped, right? But the reason why I believe it will escape is because when you look at this, let's take a look at total 3. You could see total 3 has totally escaped, right? Look at that. So, that tells me most likely we will eventually escape. But one thing I don't like is if total 3 is way up here and some other coins are still way down here, then if this thing pulls back, these are going to, pull back probably as well, right? So we have to be careful with that. But we should really look at, so total 3 minus USDT and minus USDC. And you can see it's basically the same thing. I thought it would be a little bit different, but it's the same. But also others, we also broke out of this chart as well. So we got through all the retracement levels. So we're officially in alt season. Some are front running, some are doing better than others, right? We hit the 1.272. That's the first technical target. All right. So you expect a little bit of a pullback. So, we really need the other coins to get going. We need them to bust out of there, right? Because this thing, you got sort of 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and then 5, right? So you don't have much time. So this bull run is probably going to be done by, I would say, spring. And then, so there's 2 options here. Number 1, we get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're done by, say, sometime in the spring. Or, for example, if I go to XRP, or let's go to HBAR, I'll use this one as an example. So, let's say we move up here, right, and we break out, we pull back, right? So you have a 1, a 1, 2, and then you pull up into 3, right? So for example, let's see, let me do this so it'll be easier. So here's spring, that's April, and I'll put March right around there. And then summer, usually we pull back in the summer, right? So July through September, right? So that's how I think, so we have 1, 2, 3, and then let's say, see, if we get 4 and 5, it's going to have to be fast. Spring is coming up very shortly here. So it probably might last longer than spring, to be honest, unless, unless we get a very fast wave. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm thinking. If we get up here, right, like in the 3, and then we pull back. So let me do that again. So we get up here, we pull back, and then once spring hits, we start to fly, right? That's how it could end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. Or we do something like we start pulling back now, and then we shoot up here for spring, right? And then we have a long sort of consolidation like this. And then we have that final blow off top somewhere in October or November of next year, and then we get the bear market. So I actually like that a lot. All right, so if I, for example, XRP, that's what happened over here. So if you look at XRP over here, right, we had sort of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could be somewhere like in here or in here for XRP. So we have to go up a little bit more, and then we correct for like 3 to 6 months, and then we pop. So this correction could be somewhere in the spring, right? So if I take a bars pattern just for a structure perspective here, and I come over here and I kind of match it up from a time, I'm not doing from the structure, I'm doing it from a time perspective here. All right, look at that. We're right where we should be. Whoops. We're right where we should be. So, yeah, we should pull back a little bit. I mean, this is where we should be pulling back, right? And then we shoot up. I don't know if we're going to shoot up that high. I mean, we could, but I don't know. Maybe not. And where is that at? That puts us right at January. So that's pretty fast. I mean, January is coming up. Well, the beginning of January. And then we sort of correct all of spring, right? And then we shoot up in August, but I just don't really see that happening. To me, it would make sense that number one, if it was bigger, or number two, if it was smaller. But I mean, we could, if we look back over here, when did we consolidate? We consolidated between May and November, right? And that makes sense because that was a summer lull, right? A summer pause. So I'm just trying to, because it's all about seasonality. Spring is typically bullish, summer is bearish, fall is bearish, and then the end of fall is bullish, and then winter is bullish, right? So just, trying to figure all this out here, something like that, I would imagine. All right, so there you go. That's kind of what I'm thinking here as far as timing goes. So let's look at XRP and let's look at what the hell is going on here. So we're getting a three-way pullback. 1, 2, 3. Pretty simple, right? Let's zoom in and see if we have any details we can look at. So I figured this was going to happen. The reason why is because we had 3 waves down and it could have been finished, right? And we could have pulled up, we could have flagged out and broke out. But the problem is we had a 3-wave move, right? So we have 3 down, we have 3 up, and now it looks like we're getting 5 down, something like this. So A, B, C, and this could get all the way down to $2, guys, before going back up. So we could have a pretty nasty correction. All right, so just be careful of that. Or we could see something like this, where we have a complex B. So we have 3 down, and then we get 3 up, and then we come back down in a running flat, and then go up. That's actually what I would love to see. I would love to see something like that. The reason why is, number one, it would give us a bigger base. Number two, if we had something like this, it would be short and then we would go up. It would be okay. But the reason why I like the other one better is because you get a base and you don't have to get such low prices, right? You stay bullish, you stay in a range, you know? So which ones are going to be? I don't know. It's always tough to know because you're right in the middle of this here. So it seems like you got a 1 2 1 2 3 4. It looks like you need one more low here. Unless this is 3, this is 3, 3 up, and this is 3 down. So I mean, on that count, it could be finished, right? So we have, again, 3 down, 3 up, and then 3 back down. But the degree of this wave and the degree of that wave is so much bigger, it makes me think that this is all one wave. You know, this whole thing is one wave, this is one wave, and now we're going to get another wave here. So it doesn't look finished to me yet. We'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, you could tell it's bearish, right? We're getting these lower highs in here, but we're getting higher lows still. So, the best thing XRP can do is just range, and then break out. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to see XRP do, unless we just get an ABC and then continue. So we're going to have to watch things closely. Looks like you got an impulse here, and you got a little bit of a three-way pullback. You're kind of flagging out. So let's see if we can get going here. If we could get back up in here, specifically above 260, it'll be a little bit better, but I just not sure. I mean, on one hand, you could say 1 2 3 4 extended fifth, but but the problem is 1 2 3 4. You could see wave 4 overlapped into wave 1, and that's a no-no, right? Unless you're looking at a diag, but this is more impulsive. So just kind of we just got to wait. That's the best thing to do, is just be patient. I still think there's so much more upside, guys. First of all, let's zoom out and remember where we are here, right? I mean, number one, we have a monthly break, new monthly. This is the second highest close in XRP history, but on the market cap, it's actually the highest close, right? So we've gotten through all the retracement levels. Let's see, did we get through them all? Well, not quite. I mean, if you do it from the base or from the body, we totally did, right? And right now we're at the 1272, and we actually came up and tagged the 1.47. But it's better to be more conservative and say, you know what, we still need to get through this, basically the $2 area. Once we hit $3, I mean, I think this thing's gonna even accelerate even more so. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But ultimately, we have a 1 2 3. Maybe we're getting a 4 now. and then we get 5. So if we look at wave 1, and we take a bars pattern here, just to get an idea of how long this could take. There you go. So if I zoom out, there you go. So that's kind of what it would look like. Look at that. That's nothing, right? That's nothing. I mean, that would actually be very healthy if we could flag out a little bit in here, just like we did here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, I think that could be, what's in store for it. We're just going to have to monitor how this correction takes place. It could be a pit stop, or it could be the actual fourth wave. I mean, it seems like it should be the fourth wave, because you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, unless all of this is 3, 4, and then 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 1, 2, all of that's 3, right? Then we get 4, then we get 5. So it's kind of tough to know. On one hand, you can say 1, 2, all of that's 3. We're getting 4, and then we're going to come up and hit 5. I would actually prefer that, because then it gets us closer to that $3 area before we have a bigger fourth wave correction. And then what will happen is, XRP will get boring, and people will forget about it. They'll become complacent. They're going to rotate into other coins, and then all of a sudden it's going to blast off. So it could take a lot of time. It could take a little bit of time. It really depends. We're just going to have to monitor it. Okay, let's move on here. Engine. Look at Engine. Engine's starting its engine. Look at that. We're breaking out here. And I actually bought some Engine last night. I believe I did. Let me check. Yep, so I got it at $35.93 last night. So it's looking really good. It's looking really good. So it just goes to show the reason. Why did I buy it? Well, first of all, I like the flat, right? You had 3 down. It kind of looked like, these running flats. Boom, 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 right? And then you had a wave 1, and then you had a wave 2. So I saw that, and I'm like, okay, let's buy it. And boom. So, yeah, this thing looks really bullish. Let's go to the weekly here. So the weekly chart looks great. I would expect us to get some resistance in here, right? I mean, as this thing moves up right around in here, you got to imagine there's some type of resistance, right? You can even get like a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's on its way. Let's take a look at some other charts here, because a lot of them are kind of dumping right now. Like XDC had a little bit of a pullback. CFX kind of looks interesting. Look at that pin bar. Look at that doji there. Look at that. So you had a little bit of an ascending triangle, you broke down, you came up, now you're retesting it as resistance. If it starts to move back down, then it could be a little bit bigger correction. But if you notice, we're kind of going this, you move up, you retest it as resistance, you pull back, then you break through. So maybe something like that with Conflux. Bohm is starting to wake up again. Look at that. It was a little bit nervous because of that dump we had. I mean, that was a pretty aggressive dump, but again, C waves are aggressive. So, but we have to be careful because all we have, guys, is 3 waves, right? 1, 2, 3, and then we have 1, 2, 3. So really, we only have 3 up. So what we need is for this to flag out, which it's doing, and for this to break out and get back up here. And then we would still have 3 waves, right? And then you would get a wave like this and then break out. So 1, 2, 3. You need the 4 and you need the 5. Because ultimately, I think this thing's really bullish. I could be wrong. Look, Bohm is a big risk. It's a risky play. You know what I mean? These meme coins, you don't know who really created them. You don't know how much they have. They can just dump on you. I don't know why they would. Right now, it's so cheap. Like, what would be the point of it? But the way I look at it, again, you have this impulse. You're flagging out 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right? You're revving up, and I think we should see a big move coming up, hopefully soon. So Link 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. A, B, C, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Right? I mean, it's beautiful wave structure, to be honest. You kind of got a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders there. So if we sort of measure that, approximately about 115, 120. So near, I think I bought some near as well last night. I think near is going to be a big one because look at it. It moved up and look at how it's bottlenecking in here. Boom, 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 reset, reset, reset. It looks like it just wants to pounce. You know what I mean? So you see these flats. You see these flats move up, move up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it looks great. And look at the flat right here. Right? You got 3 down, you got 3 up, and then you got 3 back down. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. And now you're starting to go up. That's a running flat. So just look out for these patterns. Right? If you move up and then get something like this, and then it kind of levels off and it starts to pounce, I mean, that's a dollar cost average entry for me. So looks great. Tia. All right, look at Tia. Tia is starting to break out, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Right? Remember what we talked about Tia. Here's the flat right here. Look at this. We had 3 down. We have 3 up. And then we get 3 back down. Okay. So that's technically that's an expanded flat. So 3, 3, 3. And then we have a 1, 2, right? And now we're starting to charge up here. So it's looking pretty good for Tia. So it's looking pretty good. I haven't looked at the comments yet. I will if there's any request out there. Probably won't be this video, but just if there's any requests, just drop them in the comment section. And if I don't get to it, just keep dropping them and I'll see it. All right. So, yeah. So, yeah, Tia looks great. If we look at Tia, you know, it was a little bit, people had some doubts, but I said, no. Just be patient, right? Look at the weekly chart. We have a beautiful wave 1. You come down for a wave 2. You have a 1. You have a 3-way pullback. 1, 2. Now we're starting to charge up. You got resistance in here, right? But this is going to be a block. And we should come back up to 11,778. So, should be good. Should be good to go. I'll be curious to see, you know, well, first of all, we had this running flat here, boom, 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 right? And then we had impulse, 3-way pullback, impulse, 3-way pullback. And it was also contorting, I think that's how you say it, contorting in here. And then it breaks out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, let's get 5. AVAX. AVAX is still pumping up the jams. By the way, Theta Fuel and Theta. I want you guys to watch this. Look at this. So if you're not subscribed to Paul Bearer Network, you should, because he's a good researcher. His team is a very good researcher, and they are bullish on AVAX, and they talked about AVAX. They're bullish on Polygon, right? I know Polygon is very undervalued. And then also, watch this right here, Theta Fuel. This is a 3-year-old video, but it's still relevant today. And it's even more relevant today than it was. So definitely watch that video. Just type in Theta Fuel Paul Barron. I actually tweeted it out yesterday. Basically, he's saying it's the hottest altcoin on the planet right now. So that was 3 years ago, but it's gonna be great. I just wish that some of the exchanges could list Theta Fuel for the futures account, right? Because I could buy Theta Fuel, but I want to leverage it, right? Because I'm a trader. So if I could, but there's no futures account for Theta Fuel on my exchange. Maybe there are on other exchanges, but I would like to have that. That's why I don't trade it. I don't trade Theta Fuel because there's no futures account for me. But I own it, I hodl it, I invest in it, but you know, I can't leverage it, right? So, but whatever. It's still gonna do really great, even if it's just spot buying, you know. So also AVAX. I think AVAX is also undervalued. I think they are, you know, they're competitors with Solana. But there's a lot of good things. Definitely watch the AVAX video that Paul Barron put out. The fundamentals are good for AVAX. So there's a lot of cool things going on over there. I was never an AVAX guy, but I think now I'm starting to be. I would rather own AVAX than Solana. Just to be fair, you know. So why? Because Solana is up here and AVAX is down here. So it's cheaper on the scale, right? When you look at the fib levels, you know, the Fibonacci retracement levels don't lie. I mean, Solana's a leader, but once Solana is at such a high premium, people rotate into things that are much cheaper. And that's why you want to stay planted, because eventually it will start to accelerate. You can see an impulse, three-way pullback, 1, 2, let's go. ICP. Wow, ICP did pop a lot. Let me see the 4-hour chart. Whoa. Damn. Look at this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This is bottlenecking. You had a three-way pullback and you're just this thing's about to rip. You know, it's about to, you need sort of a God candle, right? You need some kind of big candle to pop it off, and then it should fizzle out and then continue. So it's looking great, man. It's looking really great. I like how they come up and you get these running flats. You come up and you get another running flat, right? This is when you buy. This is when you buy. This, you don't really want to buy that. I mean, unless you're buying spot. SHIB. Shiba. So this one's kind of, I don't know. I'm just kind of, I mean, it's taken a little while. Again, we got 3 down, we got 3 up, we got 3 back down, we got a 3-way move. We got an impulse, and then we got a 3-way pullback, and here's a 1. Now we're flagging out for 2. Let's go 3, 4, and 5. That's how it looks to me. The other idea is the same idea, except we get 3 down, we get 3 up, and then we get 3 down later, and then we go. Maybe it could be a running flat. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Litecoin, you got a 3-way pullback, but it's a little bit small. Starting to pump here. Filecoin, man, Filecoin's been ripping here lately. You know, it's just been gradually moving up. I mean, look how methodical that is. You got your flat, you come up, you get another flat, you come up, you get another flat, you come up. You know what I mean? So you're creating these, you notice big, medium, smaller. So the platforms are getting less and less, meaning it's really starting to accelerate. So, but we haven't gotten through the retracement levels yet, right? Because we were at these prices. We were at $11, almost $12 back in March. It just, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to imagine that, but we were significantly higher back in March. So what do you think is going to happen this coming March? March is like, you know, you're marching up, right? I mean, it's one of the most bullish months in crypto. November, March, and April, and December, I believe, are some of the most bullish months. So I just, you know, we come straight up here, you know, like look at the last time, you know, we're pullback, right? And then you go up. This, we just went straight up. So I would imagine you get some kind of flag here before you continue, right? Because it's getting way overextended. Look at the RSI on the 2-day is just so overbought, right? So it's kind of like, you know, when's it going to end? When are we going to get that big 40, 30% pullback? Well, we're right now, we just hit the 618. So, people are, I imagine, are taking profits here, right? And then what we need to do is break above really $10. If we could break above $10, I think $20 plus is on the horizon very soon for Filecoin. So the key is the small time frames, because when you look at the small time frames, you're getting a flat, you're getting a flat, you're getting a flat, right? And then you're still charging up here. So let's see where it goes. Dog. Every time I think of dog, I think of the bounty hunter song. I'm the dog, the big bad dog, the bounty hunter. Oh man, that show was funny. So dog, I'm looking at 3 down, and I guess you can say that's 5, but then you broke the low. So to me, you have 3 down, and this looks like a flat here, right? So this is probably going to turn into a running flat. So 3 down, 3 up, and then you get like some kind of 3 wave like that and then go. That's how I imagine it happening here. So it's still going to take a little bit of time to get this thing rolling here. Monero. Did we look at Monero? I can't remember if we looked at it or not. But Monero, we broke out of a 3.5-year range. It looks great. I think we did talk about it. The 1 hour chart looks great too, because you see a 3-wave pullback. So yeah, we got an ABC. We might get one more down, but I think it looks pretty good. Let's see if we can get going here soon. We looked at Theta, the small time frames. We're remember what we talked about earlier, right? We want to get away from the scene of the crime. That's exactly what we're doing, right? We're consolidating. That's good. That's what we want. And then hopefully we can keep charging. We looked at Jupiter, Doge, and Flow is moving up nicely. That's another one that I think is going to do pretty good. This one, I don't like the way it looks anymore. I mean, you kind of create this bottom, and then it's kind of a double bottom. You can go up, but you test it, test it, test it, test it. You know what I mean? You're testing it so many times. There's only so many times before you break down, right? And then when I look at this, it seems like this could be an accumulation cylinder, right? Remember, I think his name is Livermore. So let's look at that. So here it is right here. This is Livermore's accumulation cylinder. It's a widening mouth, right? And it looks just like Niaro or whatever that is, Nerio, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. Well, they do it in points. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So we'll just say 7. So yeah. So when we look at it, it kind of looks it looks similar here, right? You got that accumulation cylinder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see if we can get 7 and just totally go berserk on this one here. So yeah, it could be a good. I mean, for me, it'd be a good spot to DCA on a spot position, but I don't mind paying a higher price. But I want to see some evidence first, right? I don't like, buying on support is good for investing and even for trading, but for me, I don't mind paying a higher price. I want to see this thing go, and then I can finally feel good about it. I think that's about it for today's video. I'm gonna look at Theta Fuel. Axelar looking pretty good still. It consolidated quite a bit, so let's see how it plays out. Zcash, Bitcoin. Did we look at Bitcoin? I don't think we did. Oh, Bitcoin's popping here. Look at that. We're above 97 grand. Let's go. Look at that. Look at that candle. Look at the wick. That's beautiful. What did we talk about with Bitcoin? Well, our fractal, right? Remember the Bart Simpson head? We came down, then we come back, then we kind of play around a little bit. Look, it's playing out exactly as the fractal played out. And we talked about that fractal the first time, I think was over here or so. I can't quite remember, but it was been a little while, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got A, B, C, and then we got a 1, 2, and now it looks like potentially we're going to break out here, unless we get 3 down, and then we get 3 up, and then we get 3 back down, and then go. It could be a flat, so you always have to be aware of that. But I don't think so. I think it's been correcting long enough. I think Bitcoin is ready. I think we can hit 100K this week. I think we can. We have a really good chance at hitting 100K. The way it's positioned, let's see our downward resistance line. Yeah, well, not quite. We're close. We're very close. Let me see this one here. On this one, I know we're breaking out. You can see it right there. So, yeah, you got a 3-way pullback, and you're breaking above the downward resistance line.